If I can have your attention here in the Media Center, we will continue on with today's Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series media availabilities for Sunday's Firekeepers Casino 400 here at Michigan International Speedway. We are now joined by driver Joey Logano of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford for Team Penske. Joey was third fastest in first Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series practice. Winner here at this racetrack last year. That's got to give you a nice boost to your confidence going into this weekend.
Yeah, of course. Anytime you come to one of your best racetracks, like here in Michigan, especially the way our last month and a half has gone, is definitely a nice little confidence builder for sure. So, to be able to unload today and have a decent speed, and then switch to qualifying trim and find a little bit more there our last run. Definitely is a nice little turnaround for us. Obviously, we've been lacking a little bit of speed, but this seems like the best racetrack for us to turn this thing around, and we got a good start so far. So excited to get out there and see what we can do for qualifying with our Shell Pennzoil Ford, and obviously try to tune it up for the race tomorrow and have a good one.
Awesome. Okay, if you have a question for Joey, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We'll start with Reed, go to Lee, and then to Bob.
Reed Spencer, NASCAR Wire Service. Joey, have you guys figured out where you've been off the last month or so?
We have about 15 areas we think, right? And is that, well, could it be here, could be there, and really a lot of it's process of elimination. I think there's a certain area we really think that we can be better, but we gotta. It takes a lot of time to be able to fix that. It's not just a spring away. Believe me, we've changed every spring we can change on these things and things like that. But over time, we should be able to get back to where we want to, and already we're moving that way. We're trying to balance our cars better and trying to get to where we can get into the corner better. It seems to be our biggest lack right now is the entry part of the corner. So trying to fix that, and seems like we've made a decent step this week. Not that it's ever good when you come here to Michigan, but it seems like we're in a step in the right direction right now. So we'll keep working on what we've been working on. So.
For someone as competitive as you are, how frustrating has this been, and what have you done to combat just I guess you guys, you're scratching your head, even though, what the numbers say, it tells you something else, and I just can't imagine it's been a fun month for you.
Well, it's not fun, but you got to keep life in perspective a lot of times on what's what you're doing out there, and and I think one of the one of the funniest comments I heard, might not be the truth, but he said, "We're not curing cancer out there. We're just trying to make circles really fast." So it's something that we can fix. And this team's strong. We've been through this stuff before, and really, in honesty, when you look at the speed, last week in Pocono, we made a step. We had a good second round in qualifying. We've qualified 9th, and we had a good start. We were running 6th, and we had a flat tire. Those things have been happening too. It's not just the speed. I feel like the speed part has been, I don't know, kind of seems like what everyone's been talking about. But we've had other issues. We've had issue at Dover. We were a top 10 car. We're not the winning car like we're used to being or want to be. But we've made some progress on our cars to where we've gotten faster since Charlotte. We just haven't had a chance to show it because we've been trying to overcome things, and our car's not quite fast enough to overcome issues that happen in a race right now. So if we can get that a little bit faster, you can overcome, running over something last week and having a flat tire.
And is there a concern, since your win is encumbered and you don't have that automatic pass to go into the playoffs?
Yeah, obviously it's on your mind. I'd be lying if I said it wasn't. But it's not something that I'm very concerned about. It's something that I feel like this team's strong enough to get through. We just got to get through this and like I said, just kind of build some momentum up, have a couple normal races. The way these stages are, you can gain points pretty quick. We've proven we can lose them pretty quick, so we know we can gain them pretty quick as well. With a couple good races, scoring a lot of stage points and a great finish puts you right back to close to where we were. So we just got to be able to have string 3 or 4 solid races together like we know how to. We've strung 15, 20 great races together. So it's nothing that, like I said, this team hasn't done before. We're very strong. No one's getting down on themselves. No one's pointing fingers. There's none of that going on. It's just we got to get through it as a team together.
We'll go Bob, then to Joe, then to Chase.
Bob Cocker, ESPN. saw some brake issues last week. You obviously had yours at Kansas. Is there a concern at all among you guys as drivers that something needs to be done or mandated so that you're not putting yourselves in that position? And I guess on a follow-up, do you know, are you guys running heavier brake packages, and could that be an issue as far as trying to find speed?
Well, it's a great question. You know, there's no secret when you take a spoiler off the back of the car and you're going to be going faster into the corner, and you got to slow down more because you don't have the downforce. So how do you slow down? Brakes. And a lot of times in practice, the drivers don't use much brake, and you have clean air on the car as well to help cool them. When you get in race scenarios, especially places like Pocono, where it's a fairly hard braking and you're drafting behind someone, you're going even faster, and you got to slow down even more because you're in dirty air. The driver just uses a lot more brake, and you know, over the years, I think every team tries to lighten up their brake package as much as they can, and you know, we're dropping off on spoiler and dropping off on drag and all that, and we're finding the edge. Every team is, you know, and it's not something that I think that needs to be mandated. I think it's something that everyone just needs to learn and find that new limit, because we've crossed it a couple of times now that we've kind of get in these situations where these cars are challenging to handle in traffic right now. Well, anytime you put a bigger brake package on, you're giving up performance of your car. But you have to have something that you can race with at the end too. So, yeah, how do you say performance, right? That's this. Do you want to go fast for 10 laps of the race, or you want to go fast at the 400th mile? I want to go fast at the end, so we got to make adjustments to do that, and it's something that every team's going through. It's not just us; everyone's going to go through it. So it's not like there's an advantage to one or the other. Everyone's got to figure out what's right.
Okay, we'll go Joe, then to Chase, Claire, then Reed.
Hi, Joey. Over here.
There you are.
Joe from WTVG. Youth movement. It's been a big year for the young guys, and it wasn't long ago you were one of those guys. But
Jeez, thanks.
You're pretty old,
don't
right?
you think?
Golly. I realize I was the
like
old
you're
guy
like
now.
Real established guy.
Oh.
What?
Oh man! All right, go ahead.
So on that note, yeah, what do you think of Blaney and Dylan, and just these young guys that are getting their first wins this year?
Yeah, I think it's amazing, really, to see the first wins of everybody, and I like to kind of put myself. Well, I don't really know if I fit in a group. I'm 27, so I'm not that far off of the young guys. There's some young guys in that group that are my age, so I think to see the youth movement, and you say that, and it's kind of the drivers that have been here for a couple years, and they're getting their heads wrapped around what it takes to win one of these cup races, and they're becoming very competitive, and which is great to see, right? Because you see a lot of drivers that are going to be retiring in the next 5-6 years, right? And someone's got to replace them. And to see how these drivers are getting the experience now to where they're competitive enough to race with the guys that are here right now is pretty incredible to see. Yeah, our sport's going through a transition, no doubt, and it will be for a little bit, as there's a lot of very young talent that's coming in, and it'll keep going through that transition.
Go to Chase, then Claire, then Reed.
Chase William, FoxSports.com. Joey, like you said it yourself, you've started races well, but the finishes haven't been there. How hard has it been to maintain your patience, and is there somebody that you lean on or look to kind of to make sure you keep a level head during the struggles?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I look at it and say, listen, this team has been racing for a championship the last 3 years and have come very, very close 3 years in a row. Nothing's changed. It's just the same group. It's the same people. We didn't forget how to do things. We're just going through a little rough period that we got to go back and relearn some things. Things that worked for us in the past doesn't work with this package, and we're having to change the things that have made us very successful and find something new that make us to make us successful. And we all understand that, and we all understand if we work together, we'll get through it. So I think with that in your mind, this whole team sticks together and keeps fighting to persevere, and I know we will. Personally, who I deal with, I lean on my wife, like probably everyone else does. When you get home after work, you think, man, this happened, and you have a download, right? And you look for a little support from that direction, and she helps me a lot, my friends, and like I said, you keep life into perspective sometimes too, you know, and remember what's the most important things in life. And, you know, and obviously, you know, these are always tests of faith and tests of who you are and your character. And it's also a time that you're going to learn a lot and you're going to grow the most when you're in a little slump like this, and it's going to make you better as a person.
Claire, then Reed.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. For the record, you're only 27, and they were asking about age, but 27 in my mind seems very young. You don't feel, you know, at 27 old or mature?
No, I think I'm still in great shape. I don't think I've lost it yet. No, I mean, you know, I love the position I'm in, and because I have 9 years of experience under my belt, that's a big deal at 27 years old. I'm the only one that's got that. It makes me unique, and I can use that as a competitive advantage. So that's kind of, you know, I like the position I'm in at the age I'm at, and obviously I'm still in good shape.
Yeah.
I'm not old.
No kidding. And the thing is that I think about when you're 27 and a professional athlete in NASCAR is not the age with your body, but the driven part of it. What motivates you to be so driven and keep that up 3 years in a row running for a championship? Can you even describe how driven you have to be to run at this level, this hard for what you're trying to get?
Yeah, I mean, it's you have to be more driven each year because what worked last year doesn't work next year. Everyone gets better, right? And it's just how people are, right? Everyone keeps pushing the limits. You know, you can watch it in the X Games. You know, whatever the crazy jump was years ago is nothing now. And that's because people keep evolving and getting smarter and working harder, and you have to keep that drive to keep becoming better. You know, the advantages that we've had 3 years ago on certain things is the norm now. And it's just kind of crazy to see that. So you have to keep looking for other advantages and thinking outside the box and just keep looking like we've always had to. But it's always kind of disappointing when you get that advantage. You're like, this is great. And then a whole field figures something out. And you're like, oh, I got to look for something else now. But that's just part of it.
Young man, if I can turn your attention to the right, we'll go to Reed.
Reed
Thank
Spencer, NASCAR Wire Service. Do you get a sense at all that all the tire dragging they've been doing here has widened out the track at all? And how much does the rain undo that work?
You know, a lot of times during the weekend when it rains, it doesn't really wash away as much rubber as we all think it does. I think it's something over time. You know, if you give a track a month, then obviously it's all gone and the track becomes very green. But it definitely it washes some rubber off, but it lays it down quicker the second time for whatever reason. If all the little small holes in the racetrack get filled up quicker, I don't know if they're already a little filled up and the rain hasn't washed them all away and the rubber sticks better the second time. I don't really know exactly what it is. Kansas is a great example of that. A lot of times it's something that's really hard to get the track widened up to where they run up by the wall, and it can rain, and you can still be right up by the wall after a couple laps. So I don't really know exactly how all that works, but it's just something I've noticed. So the rain itself isn't going to affect it a whole bunch. I know track temperature affects it more than anything as far as widening it out. The hotter it is, the more cars will lay down rubber, more cars will make mistakes and get up higher on the racetrack and lay down that rubber, and eventually that groove just gets wider as that goes.
So but could you tell anything from practice as to whether or not?
Not right now. You know, when you're in qualifying trim, you're not moving around the racetrack. You're just looking for raw speed, and you're going to go to the lane that you know is the fastest and proven the fastest. Now, watching the Xfinity race here and the ARCA race also will help that as well, you know, and seeing how much wider it's going to get. But this place usually gets to, you know, 3 lanes. You know, you get the bottom lane comes in a little bit, and then it'll move up another 3/4 of a lane on the top or so, typically.
Any additional questions for Joey Logano? Well, Joey, good luck this weekend.
Great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.